are that darkness. You are dark matter in the state of the etheric state before the 10% of you, which is before us, was created in creation. So you existed before you were created, and you're trying to get back into existence once again, which is eternal life. You understand?
So we're dead now, then.
I'm glad you said that. Which brings me to this point right now. So glad you said that. Okay. This is coming from the actual fact called Feeding the Force. And I'm going to start on page 6, verse 45. In this regard, it is important to understand that the worship and the feeding of our ancestor is a central component of our way of life. Not flesh or blood of dead animals, that is what lower forces seek, not us, in their ritual. I'm sorry. Let me read that again. There was no comma. Not flesh or blood of dead animals, that is what lower forces seek, not us, in their ritual practices. Meaning that as NUWAUPUians, right, as descendants of our great ancestors, we do not exercise killing and cutting animals, right, to appease our ancestors. We do not practice drinking or pouring alcohol and smoking to attract our ancestors. That is lower forces. You know what I'm saying? We don't deal with that kind of stuff at all. It is the worship of our ancestors that bring them back. Let me go on. Now note, and this is important, from above, the basic understanding down to understanding of life, death, living, feeding the forces is reversed to the norm. And you're going to see why. You are born only to age and what? And die, ultimately, right? However, from above, you were dead, right? Or living as a ba, soul, only to be born or die as a spirit, to weaken and weaken, to be born into flesh, right? And blood of the physical plane, regarded as death, is a reduction to a realm where in the individual's main purpose is to serve the needs of the wanting flesh. Through taking, destroying, killing, which in some way to some things, in a form of suffering, to kill an animal to eat, chop down a tree to build a table, and so on. 51. All ancestors who reside in the full glory of the soul, Ba'a, and on the ether realm or plane overstand your dead existence. You call living. You understand? So this state that we call living, regarded to our ancestors who live on the other side, is a dead state. Because from the moment you're born, you are on your journey to dying, to decay. And this is important to understand when I say decay, right? You see, when people say, oh, y'all worship your ancestors, oh, y'all worship dead people, right? They don't understand where we're coming from. Because this is something we've been practicing for thousands of years in ancient Africa. But not in the decay state like the Mokasu, like their Wiccans or their witchcraft. They worship the decaying concept of nature. You know what I'm saying? The decay or the dead, they call it necromancy. They practice that in their ritual. That's what they did with the lower forces on the etheric side. You understand? That's not us. And you know what? And this is something that the brother I Am Hotep pointed out, which I thought was very interesting. You could always tell about a people's culture by their art, right? When you go to Europe, most European countries, a lot of their art is gothic, dead, bland. There's no, it's
or sexual, or sexual nudity.
Yeah, it's you know, everything is, even the colors they wear today, it's nothing. It's just this dead state. You know what I'm saying? That's not us. We don't deal with that. You know, I wanted to bring this point up real quick. And let's see. You call living. 52. Yet as there is eternal, they're truly living, and you are dead until you are reborn as ka, which is what? Spirit. To ba, which is what? Soul. And on to aha, which is ether. Going back to that 99% that I talked about earlier. You see, in this state, we're non-ether. And we brag about it all the time. I'm non-ether, 9 to the 9th power of 9. The NUWAUPU 9, 9, 9. The apostle's like, what about 99 ether? 100%, yeah, thank you, 100% ether. You know what I'm saying? Pure etherian on that state. You see, while here we're vulnerable. That's going back to the conscious being, right? As beings start to descend in the field, gravity increases, and they separate from being that togetherness to individual thought, making it easier for demon forces to come and influence. Back to what you was talking about earlier. There are different states of existence. And when you're able to lower your vibration, guess what? They're able to influence you. This is why they spend so much time to push that YOLO. You only live once. Come on, nigga, you only live once. Drink, smoke, just do everything that is against nature. Put as much narcotics into your body as you can. Why? To lower your vibration and keep you on 6. Because this is what's so deeper by 9. Right? Let's count up. 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? Can 6 be 9? Yes or no?
No.
No, because 6 can go only as high as what?
6.
But can 9 be 6?
Yes.
Yes, because 6 is a combination, or 9 is also composed of 6, and 1, and 2, and 3, when you deal with the realm of ether. So guess what? We've been acting like 6 ether this whole time. We are just now beginning to wake up to realize our true potential as non-ether beings and non-ether descendants. You understand? But their job is to try to keep you on that low vibration as much as possible.
They're the real crabs in the bucket. They make us believe they're like back people are the crabs in the bucket, but that sounds like they really the crabs in the bucket. Like they can't go past it, so they're trying to keep us from being able to go past it.
Absolutely. And lower forces. You see, their females can go as only as high as 6, and the males as only as high as 5. You know what I'm saying? This is why they must find a way to get into your genes, goddess. You understand? They must seduce you to love their image and their likeness. You know what I'm saying? To want them, because they must infect you again so they can live on for the next 25,000 years. Meanwhile, you inherited their diseased minds and their diseased state, and everything that comes in between. That's your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You are Mother Earth, in which they plant their seeds. You understand? And I pose this question to a lot of sisters. Would you mate with somebody who has AIDS? What about somebody with 3 heads who hop around on 1 toe? Oh, but it's love. I love him. You know what I'm saying? Emotions is energy emotions, and it can be confusion if you don't utilize the power of reasoning. There's nothing wrong with being compassionate. As a mother, as Mother Nature, you are all compassionate. You know what I'm saying? But it's about being reasonable and knowing when to stop taking the abuse and stop being seduced by them. You know what I'm saying? That applies to our sisters and our brothers. You know what I'm saying? Who's running around chasing that weak, wicked nothingness. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. And our master teacher is just now beginning to expose us to the level of what they truly are. When you really see them for what they are, when he said they are the human beast, they are really the human beast. Wait until that book called The Bigfoot comes out.
Yeah.
Just wait until that book right there will make you, I don't know. I just got to say, when that book comes out, people is going to be looking at twice over their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of truths and reality that has to be exposed now. You know what I'm saying? So you must know, you must understand the nature of your nature, and you must understand the nature of their nature. And this is something that our master teacher taught us about the devil, right? In NUWAUPU, in this day and time, the devil is anything that deviates from nature's divine plan. So if nature has a divine plan in order for your state or your fate, you know what I'm saying, or your existence, and when you deviate from that, you become evil. You become one with the devil, to be fake. You know You know what I'm saying? To be everything but what you are is to be fake. Fake fruit is evil. Fake parts is evil. And they push it every day. Every single day, and we are so easily seduced. Why? Because we are in their garden of paradise that they created.
And we think it looks good.
That's right. Which take you back to Genesis chapter 6. You know what I'm saying? It looks good to eat. It makes one wise. You know what I'm saying? Or who did he target? Think about that.
The woman.
The woman. Why?
Because the woman is the true ruler, the true.
You love that sound, don't you?
Because we can, I mean, because if you could get to a woman, then a woman can manipulate a man to make stuff happen. So if you want to make something happen as a unit, start with the women. See if you can get into their head first, because they can convince the men to do whatever eventually.
That shows you who's in control, huh? That's real. Yeah, I'm glad that's coming from a sister. But the fact is, we got work to do on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality. What our master teacher is doing, he's here to set the record straight. He's here to reconnect us with our ancestors. This is why the very first part is that it is important to feeding the force of our ancestors, the worshipness of our ancestors. And let me make this clear about worship, right? And this is going back to what I said earlier about religion. Religion has a begging concept of what worship is. You must beg for forgiveness, right? You must, you know, you got to be in the worst state for God to listen to you. Why not in their best state?
That's what I always
You understand? Why are they pushing that so hard on us? Because they want to keep us on the consciousness of sixth ether. Let me tell you what sixth ether consciousness is. Hope and fear. When we were in the state of God, we knew how and why a thing was done. Why is so important. We knew why it existed, and we knew how it existed, right? They can know how, but they'll never know why, because they only vibrate on hope and fear. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to accept what I'm saying as a fact. Just watch them. Watch what they perpetrate. Look at their religion. I'm going to hope, right, to do all the good in the world so I can make it where? To heaven.
Fear God.
Yeah, fear God, or you're going to burn eternally. Where? In hell. Fear. All your life that's pushed and pumped into you. You know what I'm saying? Keep you stressed and suppressed and depressed in the state of fear. You got to walk, you got to get out your house. You're afraid of what's going to happen to you. You're driving a car. The idiot on the left is not watching what he's doing. He's on a cell phone and he's about to bump into you. You go to work. You hope you still got a job. You know what I'm saying? You got to act a certain way around certain people. It's so much more. You got to hope your child don't get beat up in school, or the wrong kind of idiot don't influence the child a certain kind of way. More and more stress. You turn on the news, what do you see? Kill, rape, death, murder. I mean, what the heck is going on? You watch the latest movie, The Bloodiest 300. Let's throw the bloodiest, Vampire Diaries. It's just, that's not us. But what are they feeding in us? They're feeding what they put into us.
Negative forces.
You know what I'm saying? Going back to what I said earlier, you've been bit by Dracula. So that venom is in us. We have to know what it is. Understand, okay, why do I desire to watch that? Why is this funny to me when I look at this? You know what I'm saying? It's certain things about ourselves that we have to correct. But non-ether, how do you make that stronger? The formula that our master teacher has given us is what makes it stronger. We have to learn to reconnect with our ancestors. Because the fact is, they're here. They're vibrating on a faster rate, a faster vibration. All of us have a soul seed to our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Every last one of us, and we have to reconnect by praying. Going back to what I was saying earlier about praying. Not praying in the sense of begging and groveling, but acknowledging that they exist. Speaking to them. Knowing that they are real. There are certain rituals that we used to do, and that still can be implemented. Speaking our tone, which is so important. The NUWAUPU, the language that connects to our ancestors, that vibration. It's just like in Africa or any kind of ceremony, they play a drum. They play that music. You know what I'm saying? That person is chanting or that person is singing. They're dancing. They're bringing forth a certain kind of energy that welcomes them in.
Well, is altars, do we do altars to
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely we do an altar. You know what I'm saying? This is an altar right here within itself. You know what I'm saying? And an altar represents something. There's a whole thing that deals with that.
So we can use physical objects on our altar to call forward our ancestors.
You see, everything on this side, right, has an etheric counterpart. Everything has sustenance in it. You know what I'm saying? When you burn something, that's etheric. That's a certain kind of feeding, no matter what it is. So yeah, you can use things here because your consciousness is the window between that side and this side. The fact that you can remember your grandmother, you remember the good things you remember the good things she has done to you and for you. You know that she's there to provide. Like